ITV decided to give a platform to this woman who, in the wake of the terrorist attacks in Israel that left 1,400 dead and more than 200 taken hostage, well, she was on ITV complaining about Islamophobia in the UK. This is Latifa Abushakra, and this is what she had to say after the October 7 attack.
Nothing will ever be able to take back this moment of triumph, this moment of resistance, this moment of surprise, this moment of humiliation on behalf of the Zionist entity. Nothing, ever.
Douglas, the glee, the joy there, it's psychotic.
Yes, it's psychotically evil. It's evil on an unimaginable magnitude that anyone could react to the deliberate slaughter of civilians of any kind, anywhere in the world like that. If this was to be anybody else who'd said that about the murder of any other minority or any other nationality, they would be nowhere near civilized society. In fact, they'd be ostracized, probably chased out. But this woman was actually invited by ITV onto one of those main channels, and she talked about how tough it is to be Muslim in Britain. She had a very different demeanor that day, I can tell you, Rita. It wasn't the gleeful, grinning maniac psychotic. She put on a meek, humble and worried look as she talked about how difficult it is to be a Muslim in Britain. Now, as I say, we are being played. We are being played in countries like ours. We have a certain type of psychopath like this who gets away with, on the one hand, praising the murder of Jews wherever they can, and on the other hand, playing the, oh, I'm such a victim and it's so terrible living in a Western free society because you're so mean about Muslims. On the other, we're being played, and we need to be a lot wiser to that fact. Always the playbook is Jews are murdered by Muslim fanatics. Large majorities of Muslim communities in the West fail to condemn said fanatics. Certain proportions seem to go along with them. Muslims promptly call victim on themselves, and the Jews are blamed. That's the way around. You know, I will guarantee in the days and weeks ahead, there will be no protests of Jews in the West massively targeting Muslim students, for instance, simply for being Muslim. There will not be a campaign of vile harassment on innocent Muslims who happen to be going about their business by large crowds of Jews. But that is the case with Muslims against Jews. And yet it is the Muslims who are still seen as the victims in this situation. And as for the White House, I mean, they just can't decouple these things. They can't just say, look, actually, the statistics such as we have show that anti-Jewish hate crime has massively peaked in all of our countries in the last fortnight, in the last 2 weeks. There has been no massive rise in Islamophobia. But, by the way, if they do want to talk about these two things, they could mention the fact that if there's any such thing as Islamophobia, it comes about because of the behavior of radical Muslims. And if the rest of the Muslims in the world want to do something about so-called Islamophobia, they could do something about the radical Muslims. That's what I'd like to hear about from them.